Hello everyone, Rashi here. Today I'm going to talk about a manga that I'm not. Honestly, I don't remember if I ever made a review from that series. If I never did, that's weird because it's definitely a series that I really loved. Uh, Maybe not like the best series of all time, but still really good, especially if you like generally chill stuff. And that would be Volume 11 of Flying Witch. Flying Witch is a series that I discovered in early 2021 when there were already 9 volumes left, 9 volumes available in English, and it's it honestly took me a long time to get to volume 11, but at the same time, volume 11 released like a while ago. Let me just check. I read it today, but it released like in early 2023. Since I've started the series in early 2021, there has been only 3 volumes released in each year: 2022, 2023, and early 2024. With volume 13 releasing in early 2025, as far as I know, in English. I believe it's already out in Japanese. Anyway, it's a really slow series, so if you can start reading it, you won't like you won't suddenly have like 50 volumes when you start reading it. As for volume 11, I wouldn't say it's as great as the early volumes of the series. It definitely still has the overall chill atmosphere, but it felt kind of different. Definitely didn't like the whole trip where the main character Makoto and her sister Akane are going to the Tokyo area. I say Tokyo, but I think it's more like Yokohama. I think. I didn't really like that. They introduced some new character in Volume 10 that I wasn't a huge fan of, and Volume 11 continued on that. However, I did like the last chapter before they actually leave. That was a pretty funny one, but it does seem to lead to something that's definitely out of place, I would say, for the series, because usually, even when slightly darker stuff happens, it always feels like light-hearted, anyways. But the ending of this volume, even though on Makoto's point of view, it's as happy as it usually is, uh, there is an implied uh, scene that happens in the background that seems to be a lot darker than usual, involving Akane. And I've read Volume 12 summaries, and it did seem to be going a bit darker, which I'm not sure I'm gonna like. Maybe it's just like to hype us or something. But yeah, definitely wasn't a fan of Volume 11. Definitely one of the worst volumes of the series, which is kind of sad to say this if it's my first review of the series, because, as I said, the first few volumes were great. The Volume 9 was amazing. Volume 1 is awesome. Volume 6 was great. Volume 7 was one of the best. So there is definitely a dip in quality with Volume 11, which I'm kind of sad about. But at the same time, Laid Back Camp, just for example, Laid Back Camp Volume 12, I keep saying that it's the worst volume of the series, but Volume 13 was a huge like step up, and Volume 14 is one of the best. Volume 14 and 15 are two of the best volumes of the series, so definitely still keeping my hopes up. As for the availabilities, this volume is over a year old, so I don't know if it's available. Probably because honestly, I don't think it's a series that got a lot of attention. Even though there's an anime of it, it does. It's not a series that I hear people talk about a lot. Even in my Discord channel, Discord server, where it's one of the 13 featured series, it's one of the more quiet channels. So let's see. Manga 11. Yeah, as you can see, it says I pre-ordered it on February 2022. and it released in February 2023. So I pre-ordered it like a full year before. As for the price, it's one of the few series that is still going for really cheap. Volume 11 was 11.95. It's only $1 cheaper if you pay in US dollar, which actually means that it's cheaper in Canadian dollars because of like conversion rate and stuff. As for volume 13, let's just check how when it's gonna. Oh, yeah. So still still 8 months until volume 13, but it is still 11.95 in Canadian dollars, so probably 10.95 in US dollar, which is a really great price for a manga because uh, in in Canadian dollars, English manga typically goes for around 17 to now it's pretty much 17 to $20. So yeah, they've gotten really expensive. So yeah, again, I was kind of disappointed with volume 11, except for the few chapters that I said were good. The last Tokyo chapter definitely was one that I really liked. There was also a chapter where Makoto finally reveals to her friends in Aomori that Aomori being the main setting of the series, she finally reveals to her friend that she's a witch. So that was another pretty good chapter. So there's maybe half half the book was meh, and half the book was pretty solid. So I would give volume 11 a 7 out of 10. Probably the lowest, uh, probably the lowest uh, grade I would give to any of the Flying Witch series. But it was still an enjoyable read, just not as good as the other 10 volumes I read so far. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.